Leon and Masvidal, what's on the line? What are those two fighting for? A little bit of a redemption story for Leon? Leon said as recently as 5 days ago he didn't need redemption. A little bit of a payback for something that happened 3 years ago? It seems like a long spread. Possible. Is it a number one contenders fight? When we know that Masvidal cannot return to the championship as long as Usman's holding that belt, is it a number one contenders fight? And we have seen fights before where, yes, it is for one guy. It's not a semifinal. It's not a bracketed situation. If this guy wins again, he will go on, but you can't. And that's largely what's happening here, at least in the regard that I am right. Masvidal will not be fighting Usman again. However, if Colby gets the jump on Usman and takes that belt away, Colby versus Masvidal is a very realistic scenario. If Masvidal wants it, if Colby wants it, who wouldn't want that? So is it a number one contenders fight? And if it's not, why are we doing it? Now hold that thought. Nate is said to be getting busy very soon. Nate Diaz. I know the current winds are blowing towards Luque. What would they be fighting for? If you beat Nate, can you go right into a title fight? If Nate gets a win over Luque, who's won, I believe, his last 7 in a row, can Nate qualify for a title fight? Or can we all just agree that the title's not on the line here? Because if the title's not on the line in 2 of the biggest welterweight matches we've made, then who is the preferred number one contender? Now, that answer is glaringly obvious if you have the sense that God gave geese. Khamzat Chimaev. And for any middleweight that doesn't see what's going on right in front of them, that everybody is laying the red carpet out to get the replacement of Khabib, and who better to replace Khabib than a guy whose nickname is Khabib 2.0? Khamzat Chimaev is about to come in and steal everything. And if you think that's inappropriate, it's not. It's exactly where Chimaev was before he got sick with a pandemic that wasn't his fault. Khamzat Chimaev, to remind you guys, was scheduled to come in against Leon. Leon has now won his last 8 fights, but at that time he had won 7. He was the number 3 ranked fighter in the world. I don't know where Leon sits today, but I know he's no worse than 3. He's got to have a beautiful number next to his name. Chimaev had no ranking at all. You get some home cooking done. All of a sudden, he's in the top 10. I think it was number 9. All of a sudden, it makes sense to put him with number 3. And it was rumored that that would be a number one contenders bout. Not necessarily to help Chimaev, but as a way of rewarding Leon, who most definitely qualified for. I hate to use the word deserve, because then you start using the word fair. You don't deserve anything, and this isn't fair, right? Welcome to life. But he certainly would qualify as a very suitable championship contender. And I'm watching a lot of these 70-pounders that are pretty eager. They're calling guys out. They're hungry, but they all seem to find a reason to not go after Chimaev. I've heard wonderful things about Chimaev. I'm sure you have too. I haven't seen it. I mean, in all fairness, the guy's 3-0 and never left the first round. There's not enough footage out there for me to gain or garner enough information. And in 2 of those 3 fights, he did it with the takedown. All right, great. Stop the takedown. You don't have to worry about that area. I mean, right, in all fairness, I'm not really sure what everybody's seeing that they're so scared of, but they sure are in unison with singing the same song about finding some reason to not challenge him. And at one point, it was because of a ranking. Or at one point, because he hadn't proved himself yet. At one point, well, he's fighting at middleweight part-time. It just got really weird. It's like, guys, we get it. Just come out and say, man, this guy's a problem. Let somebody else deal with it. I've been here a long time. I've dealt with plenty of problems. This is somebody else's. But then you got a guy floating around like Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns does not give a damn. I'll tell you that right now. He does not give a damn about anything that I just told you. But Gilbert Burns, I don't think, understands what's getting ready to happen. The booking and the matchmaking of the top guys at 170 when you've got the 170-pound world championship just about to be defended, which means a new opportunity opens up for a number one contender, and the fights that are announced or even rumored to be announced we can all agree are not enough to draw you, at least historically speaking, into that championship fight. Focus is going to Chimaev. That's my prediction. It's a guess. That's all we ever have, guys. All we can ever do is sit back, look at the pieces on the board, do our detective work, and attempt to make a guess. But if I was a 70-pounder, I'm guessing Chimaev, with one more media cycle and one more great performance, is going to be right back in those talks. Now, all that would do, because again, we don't talk about deserve, we don't talk about fair, but it would qualify him for. Chimaev beats another guy over 2 different weight classes, and none of them get out of the first round. 4 guys up, 4 guys down, all inside of 5 minutes. Not for nothing, he's going to have an argument. He's going to put those 4 up and 4 down inside of 5 against you not losing in 5 years or you winning 8 in a row. He just is. Not to mention he's in extremely high demand in a certain part of the world, which is a big damn deal. Can you say that about yourself? Do you have a culture, a community, a nation, an entire people behind you? Can you say that about yourself? I could not. Wouldn't it be an insult? It's a rare thing. He happens to have it. He's going to use it. How many times do you know people with power when they don't wield it a time or two? If I was a 70-pounder and I was playing my cards right and I was sincere that I want to get to a championship match, I'm going after Chimaev. And you know what? If you call out Chimaev, you'll be fighting Chimaev. If you call out Chimaev, you will be the only person to ever have called out Chimaev. You will 100% get that job. If you disagree with me, if you disagree with my math, I won't hold it against you. But if you do agree with me and you can't figure out why you're not getting that opportunity, just say his name.